Okay, everybody, hello, welcome. Today we've got Todd joining us on the channel today. Todd is joining us from California. So Todd is a real estate entrepreneur. He's also a father and a husband. And he got started with the program about 3 months ago. And he's kindly agreed today to come on the channel, share his story, share his experience, and really inspire you guys. So thanks a lot for coming, Todd, and welcome.
You're welcome. No problem. Thanks for having me, Leon.
Awesome, man. And so how long have you not drank for now, Todd?
It's been about 3 months.
That's beautiful. And when was the last time you went 3 months without drinking?
It's a good question. I couldn't remember, Leon, to be honest. I do a lot of socializing with work and just friends and stuff. And it had always kind of been part of life, So I couldn't even recall.
Multiple years then.
Sure. Absolutely.
Love it. Okay, great. So let's get into it. So the first question is what was life like before, you got started with the program? What was going on?
Life was good. Maybe my story might be a little different. I didn't have any massive issues or problems. I do a lot of travel for work. I've got a mom who's ill. I have a brother who's handicapped. I just have a lot of things going on in life. And so for me, I'd kind of let my physical health take a second chair. And part of that was just, over imbibing in everything, food, drink, all of it. And so I just wasn't as healthy as I want to be. I went to the doc and he said, "Hey, your blood chemistry is a bit off. You got a little cholesterol." I was overweight, had done some stuff in the Midwest of the United States, and they tend to be a little bit less attuned to healthy lifestyle there, and had gained some weight, and just was making not the best decisions. And part of that was eating and drinking late, just taking in too many calories. I had some back issues. I've had a recurring back issue, some bulging discs. And I think I was just exacerbating it with bad choices, So it wasn't anything horrible. It was just, I wasn't where I wanted to be. So that was kind of it, So, and I'm trying to remember, I was thinking about this before we talked, how I came across you. I think I was actually a YouTube Elon Musk quite a bit, because he's a fascinating character to me. And you had a analogy or some analog to Elon Musk that really kind of caught my attention, first principles and things like that. And that was what really kind of caught my attention, sort of logic based type thing. And then I think we had a phone call, and then we kind of hit it off, and I don't know, just made what you were doing make sense to me. It just seems like a very logical, methodical, smart, fresh approach. That's kind of what kind of got me. So
Awesome, man. Awesome. So yeah, your story is different to a lot of people, and probably a lot of people that watch these videos. And I know some people are also like you in the program, where it's not like things are just crazy and out of control. It's more like it was really stopping you from being the person that you really wanted to be.
yeah, I think just I'm sure a lot of people are like me. You go and I do a lot of business things, and it's always let's go have a steak and a little bit of wine, and then next thing you know, it's or maybe a beach, let's have a few beers, and then it's like a potato chip. Have one potato chip, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, you're sucking in too many calories and you're overweight, and it becomes sort of the fire that creates its own wind, and yeah, that was kind of it. And like I said, your approach just was sort of logical, to me. And that's really kind of what made sense to me. It's like, if you're going to try to, I had a friend to me say, I got to either be a fat guy or a skinny guy. I got to either be on this track or on that track. And so it was sort of an unnecessary annoyance, really, and finding a path to follow that somebody else has sort of forged is always easier than reinventing the wheel. Right. So that was kind of what it was for me.
You're awesome. Awesome. So had you done anything in the past to try to stop before you got started with the program?
No, I had never, I had gone, so some friends of mine and I would generally take off, over the last few years, take January off, but more for like, it was almost more because over the holidays, it's pretty easy to, eat bad and drink too much and all that stuff. So it was sort of an ode to, okay, we're probably going to blow it, in a descending spiral from Thanksgiving to Christmas, and then New Year's, and then, oh God, we better kind of shock ourselves into something healthy. But it never was. It wasn't a mental model. It wasn't a. It was a it was almost a rebound from, a whole bunch of misbehavior, instead of a conscious, let's do something elevating. Was kind of what it was.
Yeah, got it. So, and then, well, yeah, the next question is how has the Soberclear program been different to doing like this willpower and just gritting through things?
Well, I think it's kind of a tectonic shift in the way you think about it, right? Um, like I told you, what kind of got me was the mental model, right? Like, the ethanol piece, like there's really nothing good here, right? It's to be navigated. I have some friends that kind of diet and run their life kind of around, oh, I got to leave this amount of calories for alcohol and this amount of for this and that and the other. And it's a lot of hassle, really. I mean, it really is a lot of hassle. And one of the things I've noticed, my level of anxiety is substantially lower, and my level of overall inflammation in my body is way lower. So, I don't have any back issues. I also don't have heartburn. I used to have heartburn quite badly. I'm sure a lot of it is just generally in ethanol itself, but then also the bad food choices that come with it. So it's just been, what's different for me is the juice isn't worth the squeeze when it really comes down to it. I mean, that's really kind of what it comes down to, right? It's not that difficult. Um, my lineage is Canadian, and those people drink, they're just like institutionally, right? When you're a kid, you can have water or alcohol or beer, like at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, hey, let's have whiskey. And they're nice people. They're super affable characters, but it's, when you think about it, it is a poison. It has a lot of negative effects. And the shift from, you don't have to do that to be to enjoy yourself, to have fun with other people. It doesn't have to be weird. It doesn't have to be like, oh God. What I've noticed is a number of my friends, I've been very fortunate. I've dropped a lot of weight. I've made a lot of better choices, I've made many better choices recently. I've been more committed to health because, I don't have a hangover. I don't, it's not even a hangover. Sometimes it's just, you're less fuzzy, just more, the level of energy goes up, easier to make good choices. And then it just becomes something that kind of feeds on itself. And so that's been quite enjoyable for me. So I'm enjoying it. I'm just, I have been around a lot of my friends, and they're all having a great time. I had some of my best friends over. We brought them down to the beach, and they're all social drinkers. It's fine. And they were just like, great. What I got was, wow, I'm really proud of you, Todd. You look great. I mean, good on you, so that's been nice. It's nice means I've picked some good friends, obviously. And I've inspired some of my buddies to kind of take that path as well and kind of get healthy and, leave it aside, because it's just not necessary, and so it seems so simple to say it, but for some reason, the approach that you developed made it almost like, oh yeah, that makes sense, instead of these other things about, oh, it's negative, oh, it's bad, oh God, it's really hard, all this stuff. Just, I think you cracked the code on this mental model thing. I think you're definitely onto something. And for me, it's not, I don't feel any I don't feel like, oh God, I just don't feel like that. I just feel like, no, I just, I've changed my association as to what it does for me and how I think about it. And so sounds simple, but it's been kind of watershed. I don't have any interest, I'm interested in other better things. And so for me, that's logical. Makes sense.
Love it, man. Beautiful. It's just so nice to hear it. It's awesome to see the change. So I know you've lost weight. How much weight have you lost so far?
I've lost 30 pounds.
Woo, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. 30 pounds and about 9% body fat so far. So yeah, I just have more energy. My wife said I don't snore anymore. I was considering going to like a sleep apnea thing, because I tend to gain weight in my face and stuff. And so that was creating some apnea situations. I have no heartburn at all. That was sort of I don't want to say chronic, but it would be there. And I just don't have it at all. It has just vanished. So that's sort of obvious to me then, right? I mean, I'm sure my food choices weren't as good. So that was probably a contributing factor. I used to love red wine. It still sounds romantic, but it's just not. I feel the way that I feel, the lack of heartburn, the lack of fuzz is just, my associations have changed. I associate it with kind of grief and headache versus fun. It just has happened. I haven't been hypnotizing myself into it. That just has been an effect, a side effect, I guess, of this transition.
Awesome. And where would you say life has improved the most then for you?
Oh God. A lot of it has been health. I think health. My level of anxiety is down quite a bit. I have a lot of things coming at me, a lot of business things. I have a brother who's handicapped with a degenerative disease called ALS, which is very difficult. My mom has Alzheimer's. I just have a lot of things coming at me, and my ability to kind of roll with the punches and sequence those things appears, they're very difficult, right? But I seem to be able to kind of roll with them more. I've got great relationship with my kids. My middle son, my older son have said, "Wow, we're super proud of you, Dad." That's nice to hear from your kids, right? I mean, that's, I think they see you act differently, make better choices. And so, I think it kind of inspires them as well. So that's been a great side effect as well, So I'd say that's probably the primary areas.
That's so nice, man. So nice. So then, the final question, Todd, is what's one piece of advice you'd give to somebody that's thinking about joining the program?
I would say, I don't think that there's any reason to not try it. I think, again, maybe I'm different. I hadn't tried other things. I just had never even endeavored it. And I don't know if I would have actually until I just came across, kind of your YouTube, but I would say definitely try it. I mean, try it and have an open mind. It sounds like, I think people are programmed so much to being around other people and mandating to do it. I know people who have done AA. I know people who've done lots of things. But just have an open mind. You can kind of reprogram yourself by some simple things, right? By just the way that you think. But yeah, that's what I would say. There's the cost, the commitment is very low. So if it's something that you'd be interested in, I would highly recommend, the way that you've put this together, Leon. You're a young guy, but good on you. You've impacted so many people. I haven't been able to attend some of your calls, as because the timing hasn't worked out great, but I follow your Slack thread, and you've just got all of these people, and you've radically changed, them. And many of their stories are different than mine. They've had multiple problems and challenges and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, after trying and failing and trying and failing, what sound like some exceptionally difficult circumstances, they've sort of enjoyed the process with you. And for those of you, I've known Leon now, I guess, for maybe 3.5 months. He's an incredibly supportive guy, way older than his years, I would say, in terms of both intellect and emotional sort of acumen. He just seems to be a super genuine person who definitely cares. I read your Slack thread, how you're keeping up with all of your people. I don't know how you're doing it, but good on you. Yeah, it's been enjoyable for me. It's sometimes how you hear something is different from different people, and your message obviously has gotten through to a lot of folks. So I applaud you for that, and appreciate the time that you've spent. We've probably spent more time talking about life and other things than anything as it relates to kind of how we initially integrated. But you're definitely onto something. I applaud you. I support you, and I appreciate our relationship.
Too kind, man. Too kind. Well, hey, we'll end it there, Todd. Thank you.